Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to the attic. It's time for another voicemail. Today's voicemail is from Perla. Let's listen to what Perla has to say.
Hello, Lloyd. My name is Perla. I was part of the Spanish congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, you can use this call. I don't really care. My mom's a Jehovah's Witness. She was not raised in it. My father is not a Jehovah's Witness at all. He was raised Catholic, but he's not a religious person. My sister, me, and my brother were all baptized at one point. My brother is still a Jehovah's Witness. My sister and I have both left. I left in 2020. I want to say she left in 2021. My sister and I very much were gonna leave at one point. It was just a matter of when. One of our friends got found out by her mom, because she was with her boyfriend. And I got an apartment with my boyfriend. I told my parents a week before. It was tears all over. It was devastating. And then I left. And it's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I was fully expecting to just be completely shunned. But, that kind of happened. It kind of didn't. Because my father was very much of, I think it was part of my father. He didn't really let my mom just fully cut off contact, per se, with me, because he was always like, well, you're still my daughter, I want to know what the heck's going on with you, whereas I would try to explain to my father, because I was still very much under the mindset of the religion, of I gotta respect my mom, I can't talk to her because I'm shunned, I can't compromise any of them, they can't talk to me. But my father was very much adamant that fuck that. Sorry for the cussing. My thing is, it's basically gone back to, she'll text me every now and then good morning, how are you? I'll be invited to family barbecues. And obviously every now and then she'll talk about the religion, about hey, when are you coming back, or if you're coming back. And it's so weird because I really just want her to, I think it would have been better if I had been shunned completely. I think the illusion of my family is that I'm tearing up. I think the illusion is that we're ignoring the elephant in the room, but not. I wish I would just be left alone, rather than this kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm on a leash still. I feel like I can't move on still. I mean, I'm off my medication right now. Partially because my mom kind of convinced me that, hey, it's medication has side effects. It's not gonna help you. And fuck, I'm confused. I feel like I'm in limbo. I need a therapist, obviously. I'm in a good place physically, financially. I'm just not mentally. And I honestly think it's because of the Jehovah's Witness religion. But it's so weird because a lot of fights have happened. I'm not in contact with my brother or my sister. It's not that we have a bad relationship. It's just a lot of stuff happened, and we just kind of just ignore each other unless we have to talk to each other, and that's how it is with us now, and it's horrible. I just want to know your opinion. I'm probably not gonna send this. It's fucked up that I started crying. I'm at work. But yeah, I love your channel. You have helped me so much, and you're doing such an awesome job. And I recommend you to whoever I can, whenever I can. I love you, honestly. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Perla, for that heartbreaking message. I really do feel for you. And it was very clear in that message that you've left, which I think is incredibly brave for you to leave. It's very clear that you're hurting. It's very clear that much of the pain that you're experiencing is a direct result of your background with Jehovah's Witnesses. And I just wish I could reach out and hug you or do something to help you. I mean, you've asked for my advice, so I guess I can give some advice and maybe that will help. First off, I do need to give the usual disclaimer that I am not a mental health professional by any stretch. It sounds like you have at some point sought some kind of help in that regard because you have been on medication and you recognize yourself that you need to see a therapist. So I think that you're very wise in reaching that conclusion, and I would definitely pursue that as a matter of urgency, actually. I think it's very sad and regrettable that your mother has talked you off your medication. Your mother isn't a medical professional. She's in absolutely no position to be interfering in that way, quite frankly. I have been on antidepressants, and they do just make life a bit more manageable when you are at your absolute darkest. You know, you say that you are okay physically and financially, but it's just that mental state that's a problem for you. Well, that's crucial. You know, we really shouldn't be neglecting our mental health. And it's just sad that, you know, your own mother is talking you out of something that is going to be keeping you afloat or could be keeping you afloat right now and just helping you to weather the storm. Because no one's suggesting, or it's doubtful that anyone's suggesting, that you should be taking them forever for the rest of your life. That's not typically how antidepressants are prescribed. It's just to help you weather the storm that you're going through. And it seems that your mother is in denial about your mental health and in denial, quite frankly, about the role she is playing in the stress that you're under right now. And I do sympathize when you say that it would be better in some ways if you were being shunned. Because I think what I'm picking up, and I apologize if I'm misreading things, but reading between the lines, I think that you're holding a candle for your parents' approval or for your mother's approval, either consciously or subconsciously. I know I was, even if you weren't. I was for a while when I first left Jehovah's Witnesses. I think at some level we just want to be accepted for who we are by our parents. And if there is, and basically that's parental approval. We want to be approved for being who we are. And you are obviously falling short of your mother's expectations that have been coded into her as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And you're aware of the fact that you are somehow less of a daughter to her now that you've left. And that's messed up. That's messed up because you're clearly not less of a daughter, but you're mindful of the fact that that's the way your mother sees you. And so all I would say to you is you are enough. You're not less of a daughter. You are an amazing daughter. Your mother should be lucky to have you in her life. Her behavior is appalling and abominable, and unfortunately it's a direct product of the cult she's in. She is having her thinking done for her by a group of men who meet every week at their cult compound, their lakeside compound in upstate New York. Does that excuse her behavior? I don't know. It's hard for me to judge someone I've never met before, but I do think it's noticeable that there's a difference, isn't there, between the way your father is treating you and the way your mother is treating you. And you mentioned that your father basically isn't a Jehovah's Witness, to the point where you've been having to explain to him certain things about how shunning works. Isn't it a shame that your father can't perhaps have a little bit more influence here? It sounds like he's already had a lot of influence in making it so that your mother's at least talking to you and inviting you over for social occasions, but can't your father see what this cult is doing to his family? I think if I were in your shoes, I would be sitting down at least with your father, and in just the same way as you were explaining to him how shunning works, almost as if to say, look, I can't speak to my mother because I'm compromising her in some way. Hopefully you don't feel that way anymore. But in just the same way as you had that conversation, would it not be possible to sit down with him and say, look, I am experiencing trauma. You may not think of it that way. You have danced through life without ever having your mind under the control of a group like Jehovah's Witnesses. You're able to sit on the fence intellectually and float above this whole situation. But this is your family that we're talking about now. And I'm telling you, as your daughter, I am a victim of religious trauma syndrome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you think I'm just making up words, Google it. Religious trauma syndrome. If you care about me, which hopefully you do, maybe take some time to educate yourself on what your daughter is going through. And hopefully you will then be in a stronger position to help me as your daughter get through this situation where I'm in this netherworld of disapproval, of my mother's disapproval. Because bottom line, what needs to happen is your mother needs to stop talking to you about religion. I think if she could just be civil about this and stop forcing you to revisit a source of trauma in your life, then maybe the situation could be easier. I think it would also be significantly easier if you were seeking the advice of a therapist, and dare I say it, back on your meds, but that's something that you would really need to speak to your therapist about. But this is not to be taken lightly. This is a serious subject. Your mental health is not to be trifled with. And if you can't speak to your mother, at least try and explain to your father that this is not just you being hysterical or overdramatic. You know, this is not a flaw with you or some kind of abnormality with you. You are going through what thousands go through, and it's trauma. And you need to be handled and spoken to and loved accordingly. So I don't know whether any of that's helpful for you. I think if nothing else, apart from, again, encouraging you to get that help with your mental health, I just want you to know that you are enough. You are worthy of and deserving of being loved and appreciated. And above all, you are not alone. There will be so many thousands of viewers watching this video who will be sobbing along with you, you know, and thinking, she's describing more or less exactly my own situation. So please know that you are not alone. You are loved and you are valued, and you are incredibly brave for leaving this message. So thank you. If you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is go to speakpipe.com/cedars, remembering to indicate clearly if you don't want me to broadcast your message on this channel. But that's all I have time for. Thank you so much for watching.